it a wee second. So, and we are live according to StreamYard anyway, we're live. So hello everybody. Um Captain here. So tonight I have Angie on, Angie Mason, for anybody who doesn't know her. Angie, say hello and introduce yourself.
Hello, everybody. I'm very nervous. I'm sorry. I just have to say it. I'm really nervous. Yeah, I'm Angie Mason, soon to be Angie Byers again. And yeah, I have an art channel, Creative Vibrations with Angie. And I do fluid art with acrylic paints. And I also draw and do charcoals and watercolors and all that kind of stuff. But and I also have First Impressions with Angie, which is my second channel, and I do music reactions to that one.
Good.
And I'm really happy to be part of this community. So
Okay. That's
yeah.
good. Just relax. You've seen the show. You've people like BC and Daniel and all that were on, so the bar is not very high, so don't worry about it. So you just relax. I'm gonna ask you questions. Some of them are stupid, some of them are serious. Answer what you want to answer. Don't answer if you don't want to. Absolutely no problem. You can be as glib or as serious as you want to be. Or you can lie through your teeth the whole way through. It's entirely up to you. There's no problem. So
I can't. You'd know. You'd see it all over my face.
Yeah, maybe. So I'll have to point
Hi,
out
everybody in the chat.
that I trimmed my beard and everything, especially just for this.
Oh my heavens! Yes, you did.
I cut half a dwarf off. Just no.
No, you look fantastic. I like it a little shorter. Yeah.
No. I've never looked fantastic. That's a lie. So I thought you said you weren't gonna lie. So we'll just say hello to a few people before we start then. So let's have a quick through. So
okay.
Hello, Daniel.
Daniel, Maryland representing, brother.
Hi, Ali.
Hi, Ali.
Hello, Dave. Hello, Dave.
Hi, Dave.
Dave with still the best avatar in the business. I love that guitar on fire. I think it's class. So yeah, don't say hello to him. He doesn't count.
PC. Hi, Samantha. Love you, beautiful.
Hello, Thrice. Yes, Thrice. The giggling started earlier than I was expecting, in fairness.
I'm trying to keep the giggling at a minimum.
Yeah. I don't know what you're talking about, Thrash. There's no need for that.
So we'll be running late. Very nice, Thrash. Very nice.
Hi, Shark.
Hi, Shark.
Let's see. Just don't want to miss anyone. And there's Joey. There's Joey's funny says. Good show, Joey.
Hey,
as always.
Joey, yeah, good show.
Hello, Carla. Hello, Lex.
Hello,
Lex.
Hi, Lex.
Yes. So, Lex, I did send Lex a message. He put a couple of videos up today and you couldn't comment on them. I think he set them as kid friendly or something, so it doesn't let you comment. So, he is going to fix that, So,
Good. Hi, Tom.
And hello, Tom. So, okay. So you've seen this. You watch every week. So, there's nothing serious here. So, I'm just going to ask you some questions. And, some are standard and some of them will change every week, and some might change depending who's up. So first one's always an easy one. Then, so what's your favorite YouTube channel?
Captain Bapton. No, I mean it is. It's one of them. I would have to say.
Well, what I always say is, so put your friends out of it. You know what I mean? Because you don't want to say me and Sam and people like that, So take us out of it. Outside
of our community, I would have to say she is an acrylic fluid artist. Her name is Mina Villegas, and she is the one who actually motivated me into this art form. I have really bad arthritis, and I was in bed the entire weekend because I couldn't walk. And I binge watched her channel, and I mean, she's just an incredible fluid artist. And I actually got to meet her in Virginia. I went to the fluid art boutique and took her class, and ended up like assisting her in her class, and it was really, really cool. So I would have to say Mina is my favorite. And before her, really quick, there is a an Australian YouTube show. It's called Color in Your Life, and it's spelled COLOUR, which you're going to say is the proper way to spell it.
Absolutely.
And Graham Stevenson, he's an international abstract artist, acrylic artist, and he started out just in Australia, going to different artists in the country, and it was like a 30-minute slot. And I mean, they did it great. I mean, you learned about the artists, you got to see some personal stuff, you got to see them do the painting, and then the end result. So that really inspired me too. And I found him before I found Mina. So I was kind of looking for that creative outlet, and I found them. So Color in Your Life is really good. And he has branched out to not just Australia now, New Zealand, UK, and America. What's the matter, baby? Sorry. Trudy's not feeling well. Just heard her. Sorry.
Yeah. You might have to explain to some people who or what Trudy is, because they might be thinking it's your girlfriend just off camera. I don't want to be giving Joey, conniptions.
That's how rumors get started. No, Trudy is my beautiful dog. She's a Chihuahua mix, and I've had her for
Chihuahua mix. That means mongrel.
7 years.
Just say mongrel, not mix.
No, she's not a mongrel. She's a medium-sized dog. She must be mixed. I think she's mixed with Yellow Lab.
Right.
I know that would be a really strange date.
So dogs that are mixed breeds aren't mixed breeds. They're called mongrels. It's not a negative term. It's just the proper term. I've had mongrels. Mongrels are really good dogs because they don't the bloodlines don't cross, so they tend to be friendlier. There's less chance of them being, getting genetic problems and aggression, but they're mongrels, and that's the right term to use.
She's a sweetheart. She's a sweetheart. For being a mongrel, that's definitely true. And she was a rescue, so she's very grateful. I mean, I can see it in her eyes, and it's just something. If you've never adopted an animal from your humane society, oh please. There's so many good dogs and cats and all kinds of animals in the Humane Society. So, yeah, she was an impound, which means she had to be taken from where she was. It was an animal hoarding situation. So, yeah, but I found her, and we found each other.
Okay, so it tends to be art channels. Then's your favorite. I think we've outside of our wee friend group. It's
not necessarily. I like travel. I don't really have a specific YouTube channel, but I do like to surf YouTube and look at places that I've always wanted to visit and travel to. I like to watch those as well. And music. I love music. I have that going all the time.
About music now, music recently, probably, but before that would have been art and travel then.
Art and travel, yeah. And a little bit of music.
The music
just for my own personal, not for the reaction channel, but for my own personal enjoyment.
But that no, I was gonna comment on all the girly crap that you were playing before you met certain good influences musically.
I know, right? Thank God I've got Captain's mix list. So shoot, my viewers went up when he gave me the mix list. So I'm so appreciative.
I don't know about that. So,
I damn
um,
girly crap.
so question 2 then. What first drew you into the art world?
I used to be an actress and singer um, in our community theaters and in other states, and um, I mean that was my creative outlet, was acting, singing, dancing on stage. That was, did so many musicals I can't even count them. But at the time, I was getting older and the arthritis was getting worse, and I had to have my shoulder replaced and my knees replaced. It was before the knees were replaced, and I did a lot of physical comedy, and that just wasn't feasible anymore. So I had to
Well, by
retire.
physical, you mean like slapstick, like slip on a banana, fall.
Yeah, or falling down the stairs and that kind of thing. Yeah. And I couldn't do it anymore. And also my memory. I did Laramie. I think the last show I did was Laramie Project, which was about oh my goodness. I guess it was about 10 years, 15 years ago, probably 15 years ago. I don't, yeah. And I've always had a steel trap. You know, I could memorize a script like in a week and it would be done and I would know it. But this one was so difficult, and it was such an important show and had such an important message. I actually had to take up cheat cards, and I was just like, okay, this is it. I can't do this anymore. So I was sitting in a bar, and they put my drink down in front of me, and on the glass it said crafty. Now I'm sure it was like for craft beers or something like that, you know. But it was just the word crafty, and it was just like this epiphany. It's like, you have to find another creative outlet or you are going to wither away.
Okay.
And so that was the point where I was like, okay, what else can I do? And I had been watching that art show and I thought, well, I'll just give it a try. And
Right, okay.
yeah.
So it wasn't something you've always done and then just decided to take further, no? Just
Oh no,
I
no.
need
I
something to do.
never picked up paints. I never drew. My sister, she's the artist. I mean, she has won awards and pencil and pen and ink and portraits. I mean, she's really good. And my mom was an artist. Now, my dad was the musician, and my brother is the musician, and those two are the singers. So I got kind of half of both of those. You know what I mean? So
I'm whole Blake. So I'm just trying to say to people just while we're just okay. So what sort of age was that then when you started the art? Roughly.
I'm going to say 2015. Yeah. 2015.
Okay. So it's not that long then, because I mean,
No.
I've only known you for about 18 months, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
I just presumed you were doing it your whole life.
No, this is totally a new thing for me. I was always singing, acting, dancing. That was it. That was the creative outlet for me.
Right. But what about, I mean, I know you've started playing or, trying to learn the guitar and stuff in a minute, but you did play the piano.
Yes.
We only discovered recently. So was that not a creative outlet for you?
It was, but again, my sister is like a classical pianist, and so I would go to, and I was like 8, I don't know, something like that. I was not ready to take piano lessons seriously. You know, I wanted to be out playing and all that kind of crap. So one good thing I will say, though, out of the years that I took piano lessons is I learned to read music. So that helps me immensely with whatever, instrument I want to play. I just didn't have the determination and to practice like I was supposed to. I never
No,
practiced.
I get that. It's for me. I struggle with the monotony of sitting down, just murdering the same thing over and over again. So I understand that, but
Yeah.
the thing that sort of jumped out of me, because your sister was really good, you didn't want to do it.
Yeah.
But that's not, that's you can't. There's always somebody better. Doesn't matter whether it's somebody you know or it's somebody down the street or somebody in the next town or somebody on TV. There's always somebody better. But if you have any sort of talent at something and you enjoy doing it, you really should do it. Because there's always somebody better somewhere, So, and it's a shame because I know you've picked you sort of stumbled across your piano recently, so you're doing it again.
Yeah.
Although I do think you've no focus. I think you're too scatterbrained because you want to do ukulele, you want to do guitar, you want to do piano, you want to paint.
I want to do it all.
Yeah, and that that's maybe good down the line, but we've talked. I think you should focus on one thing and get really good at one thing, and then you can start dipping into something else. And if you've got that ground in piano, it's a good starting point. Do it.
I've been playing it. I have been playing it, and it's funny. I don't know if it's because I'm more mature. I'm older now. I didn't forget anything. It's it's like riding a horse. Get back on, and I was actually better than what I thought I was. So
yeah. I mean, like I say, there's always somebody better. I mean, we've got friends in our community that are good guitarists, and Jay, Blake's a good musician, but he puts himself down. And I'm not as good as JV, and I'm not as good as such and such. And JV's playing going, and everybody knows JV's brilliant. But in his head, he's going, well, I'm never going to be Hendrix. I'm never going to be, whoever. And so everybody.
Oh my goodness.
So
JV is so talented.
Oh no, he is. He absolutely is. But do you think JV doesn't have doubts about I mean, I know there's certain instruments. I think was it drums? Maybe. I mean, JV can play a wee bit of everything. He's one of those talented buggers that I despise intensely. But he can do. He's good at everything. But I think he was saying his brother's a really good drummer. I think, but there's one of the instruments that he does. And he says, "Oh, my brother's much better." So everybody's got those sorts of doubts.
Yeah.
So, but you shouldn't be letting.
I'm very hard on myself. No matter what I'm doing.
But
it has to be perfect, or else
especially if you've got some talent. I mean, I don't rate myself as good at anything, So, but it frustrates the life out of me. I think the biggest waste in the world is, or the biggest sin in the world is wasted talent. If you've got a talent and you don't. It's like a footballer that doesn't make it because they're too busy partying, or they don't want to train properly, or and they're just too lazy to put the work in. And a musician that won't do it and won't take the chance of, well, I can go 2 towns over and I can hit that gig that propels us,
Yeah.
And it's difficult. So just I mean, there's a footballer from some of the Brits there will know that from Northern Ireland, from Belfast, called George Best, and he was arguably could have been the greatest ever footballer, but he just wanted to drink and and party and fuck and all the rest of it, and he never achieved what he could or should have achieved, and it's such a waste of talent. Now he did bang about 4 minutes.
If you're going to be serious about something that you're doing, either the art or the music or whatever, you can't let distractions take you from that, because that just elongates the journey even more.
Yeah.
You get, and that happened to me this year. I was drinking a lot every night, and so my art suffered, my music suffered, my health suffered, everything did. So
okay. Right. So we'll go for Nice light-hearted one then.
Okay.
It's been the best experience of your life.
Hmm. I got a lot of life. I gotta rewind through. Hang on. Oh my gosh. I'm sorry. I'm still
All right.
thinking.
All right.
I would have to say, oh God, there's so many, but the one that was the events that were most life changing, I would say, would be I helped bring 2 babies into the world, and I also was at bedside for several people who passed on to the next life. So both were both really affected me. I remember after the first baby that I was in there and helped bring into the world, I walked outside afterwards. I came in at night, of course, it was overnight. And then once it was over, I walked outside, and and it just seemed like everything was brighter and more colorful and more 3D. It was crazy. It was just like seeing a life brought into the world was just, it was life changing. It really was. And I wasn't able to have kids, so that's why I was invited into 2 friends who were having their babies, and I helped um, them, which was a beautiful gift from them.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So, yeah, well, it's not something. The nearest I got to it was when my brother's wee lad was born. Just holding him like the day after he was born was a weirdly emotional experience. And
Yeah.
I'm an old cynic. You know, I never wanted to breed, never wanted kids. You know, sort of. To be honest, I sort of had images of taking him to the football. You know, didn't want any of my own, but I could be the uncle that took him over to Anfield. You know,
Yeah.
took him on trips and did stuff, but it wasn't to be for various reasons. You know, so but it's. And
Yeah.
I know friends that they were all really cynical till they had their own, and then they would say that that they'd walk out of the delivery room bawling their eyes out, without really realizing they were doing it, and
Mm-hmm.
never never felt the need to apologize for it or anything. It was what it was, So, but
Yeah. I mean, I really wanted kids, but the crazy thing, and some people believe in this and some people don't, but this is my life. So from the time I was a young kid, I would have visions or daydreams, whatever you want to call it. I know you're going to laugh. I know you're going to laugh, but I would have daydreams about things that would happen in my future when I was an adult. And every single one of them have come true. I remember there being a vision and a voice in my head saying, "I'm sorry, but you can't have children." When I was a kid. And I'm like, what the heck?
yeah, I look
It
that's a weird
it
one for
was
me.
very weird. It was a lot of things like that it's almost like I kind of knew ahead that it would.
There's things in my life, horrible things in my life that I think I thought about or dreamt of before it happened, but I think it's just the mind playing tricks on you. I think it's as an adult you're remembering back, and I think it's
It could be
yeah, because
maybe my
I
subconscious trying
I
to
I hate
prepare me
I hate
for.
that, you know.
Mhm.
Um, I just don't know.
Yeah, but it was a beautiful gift that my 2 friends gave me that I was able to
So
help
right,
bring their kids in. It was fun though. It was comical, of course, because it was me. And I remember my one friend when her baby was born, And I look. Well, I was there to take pictures of not of, but just of, the room and the people and stuff. And the midwife looked at me and said, "Put your camera down and come grab a leg." And I was like, I'm sorry, what? And she's like, "No, I'm serious. We need your help," which is good because there was no film in my camera. Oh my God. Can you imagine? I was so scatterbrained. I mean, I still am, but not as bad. So yeah, so I grabbed a leg and I could see the head, I could see the baby coming in, and then she was face up. So then I saw like this much, and then I saw this much. Her little head was sticking out, and she was murmuring. She was going, "Murr, murr, 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 murr." She sounded like the Hamburglar. And I came up into my friend's face and I said, "Oh my God, she's talking already." And she was in mid push and was just started laughing. She's like, "Please don't do that. I'm trying to do something here."
See, I'd be honest. If the doctor said to me, "Come over and grab a leg," I thought he'd ordered chicken in or something. I wouldn't have thought go and help with
That's
the
what I
baby. So,
thought. I'm like, "You got KFC? All right." I prefer the
so
breast, but
Miss
okay.
Piggy's asking, do you think God was speaking to you? Your premonitions that you think you had?
I don't know. I think it was someone influential up there, somewhere out there. Could have been God. It could have been a past family member. I don't know. I really don't, but I still have them, and it's really
So past fathers. So you really do believe all that fucking
yes. My
nonsense?
father, when he
Are you
died,
sure you're not Californian? You do
no,
believe all this hippie shit? Weird.
I'm not. I'm not a hippie. I'm really not, honestly. But no, I do. I do believe in it very much because it happened to me. I mean, that's not something that I'm making up or lying about. It really happened. Like when my father died, I walked into the room where he was after they had taken him to the hospital, and I turned the light on in the room, and it was brighter than I'd ever seen it. I mean, it was just so bright, and I had to actually and my friend from school was with me. Now, I was 13 years old, so, and I said, "Do you see that?" And she's like, "No, what are you talking about?" So she didn't see it, but the light was just blinding. And I felt this, I can't explain it, but I felt this pressure, and it just kept coming towards me, and it went right through me and took my breath away, and then the light went down. And at that point I knew he was dead. So I really believe that his spirit walked
Yeah,
through me.
nothing like that's ever happened to me. I say that I think in my head because I had a friend who was killed in front of me when I was 7 when we were going up to school one day. He got run over by a car.
Oh
Was
my
killed.
God, I'm sorry.
And I have it in my head. I dreamt that was going to happen, but realistically, it was probably me dreaming and processing it. Afterwards. And
Yeah.
certainly when I went to see it, because I haven't seen too many dead bodies. Paul was killed in front of me. He was my best friend at that point, and I do wonder what would have happened if he hadn't died. Because
Yeah.
he was much
Yeah.
more outgoing and much more likable than I am, and he could have dragged me along with him. But when I went to see my dad, apart from me bawling my eyes out, when I went over to the hospice because he was dead when we got there, but I didn't see anything like that. I just saw dead body lying on a
Yeah.
gurney. So, but anyway, but sure, right. So let's go something more serious then.
Mhm.
What one item of clothing would you like to bring back into fashion?
That's serious.
Not really. Okay, none of them are serious. None of them. You know.
What item of clothing would you like to bring back into fashion? I think
Yeah,
it
I
would have
know.
been.
No, and I have to like bear in mind, I know I've got the parental advisory thing up, and you have a tendency to go filthy, but it can be something innocent. It doesn't have to be something like
Oh, well, you have
sexy
no
nightmare or
idea
anything,
what I was going to say. You have no idea. He's not going to be filthy.
How dare you?
Bustiers and chastity belt. No, I'm kidding. I'm just kidding. I think it would be fun to live back in the times when everybody dressed to the nines, no matter where they were going. Top hat, the big dress, poofy dresses, and I think that would be fun.
Yeah, see, it's weird. I mean, I think hats is a lost art, because
Yeah.
I don't mean baseball caps, if Joey's listening. I mean actual proper hats, it's a bit of a damn thing because you almost feel, I certainly feel weird with them. And
I don't look good with hats. Yeah, I'm not a hat head person.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, I've such a big head, I struggle to get anything to fit me. I literally I bought like a triple XL fucking woolen hat because it's cold and it's still afterwards, so it's just slide up. But yeah, weird because there's a lot of people are showing videos now of London in 1950s and stuff, and New York back in the day, and everybody, even just to go down to the park, was dressed up better. And I do get that. I still think. Well, I said this because I only asked Alan this one last week, and for me it's cloaks. I just just being able to go out and you're standing in town and it's cold and it's just putting a cloak around yourself, and I just think they look cool. It's maybe because I'm an old D&D player and I love the old fantasy films like Lord of the Rings and stuff like that, and the old time, like you say, topping tails and all that sort of thing.
Yeah, and that's probably where I got it from. Was just from being in theater and wearing all the big costumes and stuff. Yeah.
Hats is definitely one because I mean, especially look with all I'm going to be sexist here. Hats look much better on the ladies than they do the gents. Women just suit hats better than men do. Possibly just because you see women wear them more now, and it was the exception of baseball caps. Or for a while there, every wanker was running about with a Peaky Blinders hat on because Peaky Blinders was so popular. So every time you looked, the those. And I think to me it's an AC/DC hat. It's not Peaky Blinders, but just because every arsehole. Because apparently when people were going to the racetrack, they were all dressed up as the Peaky Blinders, and it was like,
yeah. And I would say, if not all the big fancy poofy stuff, I would say bell bottoms.
Right, okay. See, that was just before my time. I was born in the 70s. But sort of,
me too.
Yeah, so sort of mid 70s, and so wouldn't really wear that. But then again, I've never wanted to follow any sort of fashion. I mean, I sort of actively sort of pushed against them in time. I never, I loved madness when I was a kid, but I never run about in the madness get up. I've been a rocker most of my life, but it's only recently I grew my hair out and did stuff like that. And I would go to gigs and I'd be the only one there with a skinhead, and I wouldn't have a rock t-shirt on, but everybody else was wearing, and so it was weird. Yeah. Laz, I've marked that. So if anybody wants to ask any question, ask Angie any questions. If you put it in the chat, I'll star them and ask them at the end. So I'm trying not to interrupt too much as Angie's talking, so I'm just marking some for the end. So okay. So question 5 then. So hats and bell bottoms. That's I think it's what we decided. So
yeah.
Okay, so this one's a bit vague. Okay. What artist, alive or dead, would you most like to work with? So the reason I'm saying vague, it could be a musical artist or it could be an artist, or it could be both. Maybe you get Jimi Hendrix to do some vibration art with you.
Right? Can you imagine the painting I would do from that?
Yeah. What a
Yeah.
waste! Though. One of the greatest guitar players of all time, and get him just to hit notes as the paint wobbles about the table. You know?
Well, if I knew how to play a song, I would have played a song. It wouldn't have just been notes. But I really wanted that.
Well,
space, you know?
BC said he's going to teach you how to play Hallelujah. He said he could have you playing Hallelujah in 5 minutes. Exactly what he said. 5 minutes, BC.
BC, what are you doing after this interview? I do want to learn that song, by the way.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
Trudy, what is the matter? Sorry. I'm sorry. What was the question? Oh my God. Was there a new one?
Right.
Oh.
Right.
All right. I'm back to being nervous again. Hi, Bobby Joe.
What artist, alive or dead, would you most like to work with?
Vincent van Gogh.
Okay.
He was out there, but man, he was a brilliant artist.
Okay.
Just the strokes that he would do, like Starry Night. I mean, iconic, you know.
Why? Why was he so good?
He was misunderstood. People thought he was a recluse because people didn't accept him and didn't they thought he was weird, you know. Okay. And he was very much a loner and just did his artwork, and you know, everything that he was thinking and feeling and everything just came out onto the canvas. And I mean, you could see how, I mean, he cut his ear off, for God's sake, so he could paint it.
That was Absinthe, though. He went mad, you know, drinking the Green Fairy. Yeah. You know, and you can't get. I mean, Absinthe when he was doing it was actual poison. Now it's just really strong. You know, Absinthe back then was a lot of the time poisonous, and that's you know, people went nuts over stuff like that. Husky girl. And funny enough, it's one of the things I do regret. I went to Amsterdam 20 or 30 times, and the Rembrandt Museum was there, and the Van Gogh Museum was there, and all the rest of it. And I never bothered just get in to dander about. You know, which I probably should have done. I should have got really, really stoned and then dandered about one of the museums.
Yeah.
But, yeah, maybe next time.
And JV, that's one of my favorite songs, Vincent, by Don McLean.
Yeah, me too.
Man, I get all gets me in the feels. It really does.
JV only talks about the lyrics because he can't play it. It's too hard. So it's very complicated song. So it's beyond JV. So
I would say him or Andy Warhol. Okay. I loved how he worked with color, and he was just very eclectic. And yeah. So that's what I would say. The music, oh my God, Freddie Mercury. He's the first one that comes to mind as far as yeah.
So not the Beatles. So it's Queen, not the Beatles.
It's Queen for me. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, Queen are much better than the Beatles. Just in case that wasn't clear for anybody there.
I love the Beatles. It's hard to compare the two.
Don't backtrack now. You said Queen. You said
That's it. You've answered the question. Next.
That's it. We're done. Let's move on. You know. So, yes, Dave. Absolutely. Anyway, that's for another time. So, right. Question 6. What's your biggest insecurity?
There's a couple, but I would have to say my weight.
Okay.
Yeah. And my scatterbrainness. I don't get taken seriously. So it's like anytime I want to say something or whatever, I have to like think to myself, you know, is this relevant to what's being talked about, you know, or people are going to be. So yeah, those both did count. That's a big one. Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, you're bound to have nightmares about that, you know. So, but the weight. I mean, you've lost weight since I've known you.
Yeah. Yeah. I've kind
You,
of,
you can tell you've lost weight. You see it in your face.
oh, thank you. Thanks. And that was all from quitting drinking.
Drinking's a
Because
big
I was
one.
making such stupid decisions when I was, drunk every night, you know,
See,
eating at 5 in the morning or 4 in the morning or whatever, stuff that's not good for me, and
yeah.
and drinking alcohol when you're diabetic is not a good idea either.
Yeah,
So
drinking's it depends what you're drinking. Do you remember the band Simply Red? The lead
yeah,
singer Mick Hucknall. He lost
yeah,
a lot of weight. I remember him being interviewed just a long time ago, and they asked him how, and he said, "I just stopped drinking beer." He says, I switched from beer to like vodka or gin or whatever, and just put a dat mixer in it." And he says, just dropping that beer on its own, um,
yeah.
made a big difference. The calories in a pint of beer is ridiculous, So it's
And
but
that's kind of the way I went, because I mean, you drink light beer, you got to drink like 18 to feel anything. You know what I mean? And maybe not 18, but you know what I
yeah,
mean. And so I did. I tried the vodka way, and I have a problem with alcohol. I have an addict. Well, no, I'm an addict. There, I said it, and a recovered addict. And so I have an addictive personality to anything: food, alcohol, drugs, whatever. And yeah, so the just putting the vodka into your drink every now and again and just having one, that's not how it was. It was a bottle a night, and in the hospital with pancreatitis and renal failure. So for a week,
that's
yeah.
it's weird. For me, I don't have a drink problem. I will have a wee whiskey here at some point, but I'll have one or two, and that's me done. I mean, I've been off for a week for Christmas, and I've had like, two or three last night, so I've maybe had 5 glasses of whiskey in that week.
See, and that's the way it should be. That's
Yeah.
the way it should be. Just sip
Um.
at it because you enjoy it.
Yeah.
Mine, I
Yeah.
was drinking. Good night, Allie. Love ya. Um,
At
yeah,
this point, I'm drinking just because I like the taste of it. Yes, it relaxes me slightly, but I'm not drinking to get fucked up.
and see,
So
I was drinking. I wasn't even drinking to get fucked up and have a good time. I was drinking to numb the pain. And there's so much. Not, and I don't mean physical, I mean emotional. And that's the wrong reason
drink
to
never
throw
did that
into a
for
bottle.
me. Weed, when I used to smoke, didn't do that for me. Sadly, I comforted with this. Wow, I'm fat, and it's a food thing for me
Me too.
more than drinking and the rest of it. And I have such a sweet tooth. Uh,
Mhm.
so I come to realize just don't have stuff in the house for me more than anything else, and that's that's
Yeah,
typical over Christmas when I did all the shopping and I bought loads of stuff. I bought way too much crap to have in the house over Christmas. So I have a full box of Ferrero Rochers that I haven't even opened yet, and fucking
yeah.
all sorts. So has part of.
Well, and my mom, she would like backhand compliment me, but she was enabling me. I don't know how like when I was even as young, as far back as I can remember, she would be like, "Well, you're gaining weight. You can't, you got to stop eating all this sugary stuff and blah blah blah." And then like 10 minutes later, she'd be like, "You want a brownie? I just made brownies."
Yeah, I
And
know, but see, the thing is, I think there has to be a cutoff point that adults have to stop blaming their parents for stuff.
oh, I
You
don't,
know,
I don't. But that's where it started. That's where it
yeah,
started. And I
but this,
realized that when I was an adult and I was over at her house visiting, and it was the same thing. We were talking about the diabetes and everything. And she said, "I just make brownies. You want a brownie?" And it was one of those aha moments. And I was like, whoa. And every time I'd say yeah, because I wanted to make her happy. And that was her way of showing her love, was by cooking and baking. And so I'm not blaming her at all whatsoever, but it took
No,
me a long
but people
time to
do that.
realize
That's
why I was
not,
doing it.
yeah. I'm not really saying you. Well, it was a wee bit,
Oh,
but
no, I know. Yeah.
I would people that I know. I'll not name here, but my parents said this, my parents said that, and
Oh,
everyone.
yeah.
You're in
Yeah.
your
Oh,
fucking 50s. You've been an adult for fucking 30 years. Shut the fuck up.
right. I mean,
You're doing
trust
something
me,
wrong now. It's on you, not them.
the
If
childhood that I had, that the traumas that I lived through, it doesn't give you carte blanche to be an asshole.
no, I mean, look,
So I've always, yeah. I mean,
everybody's got
pick
traumas.
yourself up and move on.
Yeah, I mean, everybody's got traumas, and some are much
Mhm.
worse than others. I'm not trying to compare somebody that was, that was physically abused, mentally abused, with not being hugged enough, or
Right.
mum was cold, daddy drank. You know what I mean? So, but there comes a point where in everybody's life they just have to go, fuck it. I just need to get
Yeah.
on with life now. And I do think we enable all of this crap. And to be honest, America's the worst country in the world for it. The amount of people that, I'm in therapy, and I've been in therapy twice a week
Mhm.
for, excuse me, for 15 years. Well, then, you either get a shitty therapist or you're a moron, and or both, potentially,
Yeah.
because the therapist saying, I mean, there's a joke now when a therapist sees, a blue-haired, young woman coming in now, they know they can order a new Ferrari. It's just because they know the money's just going to keep coming in, because they only have one problem after another. So, um,
Yeah. And honestly, I think therapists, I
that's
mean, just in my experience,
absolutely,
it's more like paying someone to listen, because there's so many people out there, acquaintances and friends, and who care about you, and want you to be doing well and everything, but they don't necessarily want to hear your life story or your
yeah.
issues or negativity, and so, and I don't want to burden people with that,
Yeah.
you know what I
No,
mean? And
I
so
get
it's
that,
like,
but there's a difference being treated for PTSD after a real serious traumatic event. Like,
right.
like,
Oh, yeah.
like
I
you were
mean,
physically
that's,
abused,
yeah.
you witnessed your parents being murdered, whatever, you know. And then you should have,
Hmm.
and I'm all for people, psychiatrists and therapists, helping the likes of that out. But you
Oh,
just see it
I
now.
do think they do, but I think
Yes, but
sometimes it's,
but that's the help. But see, people that live on therapy their whole adult life, and you're
oh,
just
oh, yeah. Yes.
moron. You're just a cash cow for somebody that couldn't cut it in medicine, really. You know what I mean? And the amount of people that can become licensed therapists by doing an online course and buying a fern from a fucking a plant shop. That doesn't mean they're and let's face it, if you really want to talk, and if that's all it is, stand and talk to the wall. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Borrow Blake's bear and talk to it. Talk to your fucking, you talk to your dog.
Oh, the things I've told Trudy. Whew, thank
Yeah,
goodness she can't talk English.
yeah,
Well, she can't talk at all, but you know what I mean.
yeah. It's and that's the difference for me. So, but, okay, so right, moving along. Question 7, old standard: are aliens real? And if so, have they visited us? And you're not allowed to call Michael for this one. You have to answer it yourself.
Or Raven. Is Raven
Or Raven. No, Raven's not.
here? I can't say yes or no because I've not seen it with my own eyes, and I've not experienced it, but I'm not going to sit here and say no, they don't exist. I mean, it would be presumptuous to sit here and think, "Oh, we are the only intelligent life," I mean, if our solar system exists, then it's possible there's another solar system that exists.
Oh no,
So I would lean on
there's
Yeah, I think
millions.
they're real, but I don't know if they visited us.
So you think they're out there? They just haven't come here.
It's so hard. It's so hard to say. I mean,
Look, it's an opinion. There's no right or wrong here. It's not like Beatles and Queen, where Queen is absolutely better than the Beatles.
I got that one right.
Yeah, Blake and JV might not, they may not agree.
Yeah, I think they're real, and yeah, I think they would have visited us if they had the chance.
Okay. Yeah, I think it's statistically improbable that we're the only life forms in the galaxy.
Right.
Because there's hundreds of solar systems, there's millions of planets, I don't think they've come to visit yet, So, because if they've come all this way and only probed a few rednecks in Arkansas or fucking Alabama, it seems a bit of a waste of all that, rocket fuel, So, and it's yeah.
Yeah,
That's
I
the way
mean,
but I don't believe in the Roswell thing. I don't believe in the alien autopsies. I don't
oh,
believe.
yeah, I mean, so much of that is extremism and, people trying to get their 15 minutes of fame or
Absolutely.
money or whatever. But I do. I really do
See,
think there has to be other life forms out there.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think a lot of it is just that attention seeking. Whereas now you can just fucking stick something up your rectum on TikTok and you're famous for 15 minutes. But it's
What? That's what you got to do to be famous on TikTok? Oh no, I'm not going that far. Sorry.
that's what I did. So yeah. So that's the way I look at it. So okay then. So question 8, what made you start a music reaction channel?
Well,
Sorry, Jamie.
To be honest, my art channel this year has gone stagnant, and hasn't grown for the entire year. I haven't lost any, but I haven't, it hasn't grown. And that's because I wasn't putting all of my focus on it, and I was making stupid decisions and pretty much getting drunk every night. So, a friend who has a reaction channel, Daniel from Arius in the Nation. Everybody knows Daniel.
Oh, sorry, that's Daniel that sent you the dodgy mic. That Daniel.
He sent me this beautiful mic because I've been doing so well on my channel. So that was so nice, and I appreciate it. And it's not dodgy. It was user error. It was user error. If we want to be, But yeah, he called me one day out of the blue, and I mean we were friends. Insert name drop.
Absolutely. Excuse me, I need to blow.
I'm a name dropper. No, but he had seen me on some of the beer review shows, and he called me, and he'd never called me on the phone before, and I was just like, Daniel, did you butt dial me or what? You could have just got me on Instagram. And he's like, no, I really wanted to talk to you. And he was just, and I had a conversation with another dear friend before that, actually the night before that. And I'm going to name drop again, BC Herbs, because I think it's good when people hear good things that other people do. So, had a talk with me too, because they were concerned about my health and the drinking that I was doing. And so anyway, Daniel had the same concerns, and he said, he was just very encouraging. And he said, you have the personality that doesn't belong up on beer review channels. It belongs on something that can, grow, and not putting any of the beer people down at all. I'm good friends with a lot of them. So, but I'm just saying that there wasn't a whole lot of potential for growth for myself or for my art channel if I was continuing down the alcoholism road, I guess is what I'm saying. And it was, again, there was another aha moment, BC had talked to me the night before, same thing. And then Daniel out of the blue says, and then that's when he was saying, I think you could do reactions. You have the personality, I think you could do it. And I did not. I said, no, I cannot do reactions. There is no way, absolutely no way. And, he talked me into it. And once I did it, it was like, it was working. And the idea of it was to create a new community through music, and then introduce them to the vibrational art that I use with my electric guitar, and bring them over to my art channel. So that was the reason that I started it. But since I've started it, I have learned so much about the bands that I've been listening to. I know one you don't care for, but one in particular just absolutely just blows my mind. And it's a band called Sabaton, and they're a Swedish band, and they only sing about past historical wartime events. And they've actually gotten educational awards for educating schools. Some schools play their music to get the kids to learn, and they do. It's so much easier. Like if they had that in school when I was there, I would have learned so much. I'm not a reader. I can't retain when I read. So I have to see, hear, experience, everything. I don't know why I just went like that when it was experience.
To be honest, I'll have to go back and check the Sabaton ones out, because they're one of the bands I've just dismissed.
And they have a Sabaton history channel on YouTube as well, and it's brilliant. I think you would really like it. It really goes into the detailed stories of World War I, World War II, all of them. I mean,
I
really
like
brilliant.
historical stuff, so
yeah. And they're a great band. I mean, they are rocking. They are heavy metal, and I call it educational metal. I've kind of named it that. So.
Hello, Jessica. Love the name.
But yeah, that and
we laugh.
I really got to tell you, I didn't think I could do. I really didn't think that I could do the reaction thing. But I thank Daniel every time I talk to him. It's like, thank you for believing in me when I didn't believe in myself, because I didn't at all. And he just kept encouraging me and keep it up, you can do it. And now I'm almost at 2,000 subscribers in 2 months. So
it's doing well for you, though, isn't it?
Yeah, and I'm really enjoying it, and I'm learning about the musical part of it. So it started out as one thing, but it has turned into something that I really do enjoy.
Yeah. Are you going to stick to just musical reactions on it, or are you going to branch out into other stuff?
I'm going to branch out into other things. Yeah.
On the same channel, or are you going to start a different reaction channel?
No, on the same channel. I think.
Well,
yeah. I'm going to be in the music part. I mean, because I still have a lot of material that I have to look at for the ones that there's just like 4 or 5 that I'm currently focusing on.
Daniel will keep you right now. I believe that if you sort of start mixing genres, one can fuck the other up. So
yeah.
So Daniel, I think on Braces suck to do all sorts, but on his new stuff, he tends to
I guess that is a good idea.
So just chat with him before you start, because there's loads of good stuff out there. Because let's face it, you've watched nothing. You've listened to nothing. You know, we
Yeah.
talk about movies, and you're like, never seen it. You know, have you seen such a show? Never seen it. You know, what about this band?
Very
Never heard of
filtered
them.
life. I've not
You
seen
know, so there's
most
an
movies.
awful lot of stuff out there for you. You know, that you can draw on. That'll be genuine reactions. You know, a lot of the British stuff, because I know that's what a lot of the reaction channels that I know, because they were doing like classic British comedy of High Shredder, you know. So um,
Oh, thank you, Sparkle. I love you so much. You're a
um
sweetheart.
and yeah, and Sparkle, I'm adding you to my list, by the way. I'm going to be interviewing you at some point if it suits you. So okay. So question 9 then: if you could kill one person consequence free, who would it be and why?
I I w- mm,
Like, bear in mind, if you say your ex husband and he turns up dead next week, the police might rob your door. So, um,
okay. Okay. Part of yeah, plead the fifth, right? 95% of me says I wouldn't kill anyone, whether there was consequence or not. I could never take a life.
was
Even if somebody did me wrong terribly, I could not take their life. I think that is my answer. If there was someone that I could kill if it was consequence free, it would be my ex step monster, who ruined my childhood. Yeah,
okay.
yeah. So, but I don't even think no. I couldn't take a life. I just couldn't.
Really?
No, I mean I could hurt them to the point where they wished they were dead. That's what I would do.
Look, the only reason I don't kill people is I don't want to go to jail. I'm way, I'm way too rapeable to go to jail. You know what I mean? So, um, otherwise, I mean, honestly, I can fill it. You know,
Oh my god. I mean I can't even I couldn't even harm an animal. I have trouble killing bugs
yeah,
and feel guilt.
but the man's right. When we are an animal. We're just a smarter animal than most. Animals kill other animals all the time. It's like when you see vegans protesting about all the poor animals and all that there, and then you see a picture of a lion, you know, eating a fucking, you know,
Yeah.
gazelle when it's alive, and bears. Some of the bears will eat you, and it'll take ages for you to die 'cause just to eat you. You know, because I mean, a lot of animals. I mean, they're not worried about killing you and making sure it's kosher. You know what I mean? They're just going to pin you to the ground. They're going to eat you while you're screaming. You know, so
Oh my god. It's the screaming that gets me. Jesus. It's
yeah.
terrible.
Um, let's see.
No,
That's
but if I did have it in me to kill step monster and anyone who harms children or animals. I now that I'm thinking about it, I could probably kill those people with my bare hands.
God, it didn't take long to turn you around. I'd hate to see you working with the CIA. You know.
I would reach in, grab their still beating heart, hold it in front of their face to make sure that that's what they see right before they die. That was dramatic, wasn't it?
Wouldn't give up your day job, but
No, but yeah, I mean, there are some really bad people out there that should not
oh, there are
be
absolutely
among
are,
us.
you know. So
Yeah.
okay. So right, question 10, old standard of the show: does God exist and does He love you?
Mm. That's a hard one. I was brought up Lutheran, went to church every Sunday. Lutheran is Catholic light, and
I always thought Lutheran was more Baptist, Protestant.
no, oh no, it's Catholic light. The whole and
Oh,
also with you and peace be with you and the chants and the yeah. Oh no, it's right underneath Catholic. And I always had questions when I was a kid. I remember saying in church, in the middle of church, I look up at my mom, and and again, I'm not even 10 years old, but I look at mom and I'm like, I said, why is God so mean? Why would he kill his son? That's terrible. How is he saving other people by killing his son? I could not comprehend. And it was, because I was a kid, and I remember my mom just being, shh, 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 don't say that, But I never quite understood. And I believe the story of Jesus. I do. And I believe that there is a divine something. I don't know.
So you believe in a supreme being, but not necessarily the God of the Bible? Is that?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think.
No, that's fine. Like I say, I mean, I think most people know, and I don't believe it, but I'm not judging what other people believe, But
It's just hard, It's hard because I'm even though I believe in spirits and all that kind of stuff. I also need to see, I need to see proof. I need to experience it for it to be true, But there's something to be said for people who have faith, I know some Christian people, and I don't mean the ones that go to church every day and talk about people behind their back and that whole thing. I mean, I do not like organized religion. I'll just say that.
Absolutely not.
I do believe that there is a divine being, and I do speak to that divine being when I'm in chaos or what have you. The one thing that sticks out is I remember when I was a kid, and it was when what was going on with Dad when he died at the house, and it's like I just kept praying. I just kept praying to God, take me. Please don't take my dad. Just don't take him. I need him. I had just moved in with him 6 months and got to know him, and it's just like, please don't take him, And he did, And I know that everybody says that, God has a plan, and we may not understand it when it happens, and it may be hurtful, but there are so many hurtful things that I don't really see making that big of a difference. You know what I mean? Positively.
Yeah. Well, see, there's a guy, Spencer mentioned him actually whenever I was talking to him. There's a British actor. He was in the Harry Potter movies, and he was in Blackadder, and he's a British sort of institution called Stephen Fry, and he's a famous atheist, but he's super eloquent, he's super articulate, he writes books and all the rest of it, and he's fantastic. But he was on a show one night, and they asked him, what if you come face to face with God, and what if you're wrong and there is a God? And he says, well, I would say, how dare you? He says, how you're supposed to be a loving God, how dare you? Give bone cancer to kids. How dare you? And he rhymed off all these things, and it's that's his take. He doesn't believe it. He's done debates and stuff, debating religious guys and all the rest of it. But that's the way he looks at it as well. So if there is something,
I'm kind of a believer that we're all made up of energy, everything is made up of energy. The raindrops, the leaves that fall to the ground. I mean,
Yeah,
just
well,
everything.
that's a scientific fact. That's not a theological one.
And see, I
Matter.
believe that more so than. So I honestly, I don't know. Does that make me an atheist or does that make me an agnostic?
I would say you're probably an agnostic. You're not sure if there is something. You're sort of on the fence. Which you think is. Um,
Hey, Jessica's got a real good point there too.
yeah. Well, I mean, but there's a lot of. See, I think that's part of the problem a lot of us have with religion. A lot of the Christian faith was just pilfered from previous religions and previous things. A lot of it comes from
Dare I say the
paganistic
pagans?
principles and stuff.
Yeah.
It doesn't, and like I say, I'm, maybe there is something there and I'm wrong, but a lot of the traditions and stories were parables and things like that. Then that somebody codified into a religion, and then a lot of people think that organized religions are there just to control people, which is why they went, from being, have multiple gods and multiple deities all over the place, that they went monotheistic, because the Romans believed in multiple gods, the Greeks did, the Egyptians did, all sorts, and then eventually went just one god. And for a lot of people, it's about control, so.
Yeah.
But like I say, it's each to their own. So, right, so we're at the halfway mark. Okay.
Oh, this
Wasn't going to do
program is brought to you by Bushmills.
this. Well, it's not, sadly. But yeah, it's just time for a wee whiskey. And I do love that sound. So
I love that sound too.
So it's that time
That
of night.
and when you open up a beer can and first it's like, it's like and then you hear the glug 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 glug.
So, cheers, everybody.
Cheers, cheers. And no, I did not DoorDash this drink. I got it while I was out with my sister today.
Okay. Yeah, I feel you on that one. So, right. So moving swiftly along then. Question 11. If you could pick one superpower, what would it be?
I've got all these silly ones in my head, but I want to be serious.
No, it's possibly the silliest question in the whole thing. So,
I thought about that today. And
if I could have one superpower, it would be to really see people's intentions.
right, okay.
To see what they are actually feeling, which I do in some sorts because I am an empath and I'm sensitive to that and I feel what everybody else feels. But there are a lot of charlatans out there who pretend to be one thing and are another. And yeah, I would want to see through that. I would want the power to see through that.
Okay.
And call them on their bullshit.
So, like mind reading, or more just like read their auras,
or intentions. Why is this person? You know what I mean? Because I'm very gullible, and I've been taken many times because I trust people, and I go out starting to trust. Okay, I used to start out giving all of my trust to someone until they broke it. Well, that's the ass backwards way to do it.
Absolutely.
And so now I am trying not to trust as much and have the person show me that they earn my trust versus me giving it away. You know what I mean? Does that make sense?
Yeah, I do. Not always livestock. A lot of the time, yes, you're right. But some people are very good at concealing their intentions. So yeah, a lot of people like that. Some people are really easy to read and really, I mean, I wear my heart on my sleeve. If I'm in a bad mood, you'll see when you look at me, I'm in a bad mood.
Yeah, me
Happy,
too.
So I don't.
Means
You know,
there's no questioning it. There's just no, we can't hide how we're
yeah,
feeling.
but I know people that you wouldn't, so um, but so that's grand. Um,
Yay.
You and the kids have fun, Joey.
so but yeah, no, that's quite a good superpower. So okay, so question 12 then. Who on YouTube has surprised you the most? That's not true, Carla. You haven't seen me in a proper bad mood. You can be grumpy, but you haven't seen me in a proper bad mood. If I'm in a proper bad mood, I just fuck off. I don't bother with people.
um,
It could be a good surprise, it could be a bad surprise, it could be who let you down the most, who did you not expect to get on with, who did you know, it's a really open question, and it's
yeah, I'm just thinking. The thing that has surprised me the most is that you can find good people.
no, that's what who it's a person, name somebody
Person. Well,
who,
I'm doing
not
a
what
conglomerate.
surprised you,
Oh
who.
my heavens! So I got to narrow it down to.
Yeah, could
Um,
be, it could be Joey, it could be Sam, it could be Sparkle, it could be somebody else, it could be Gaffa, it could be, and it could be somebody let you down. It could be, you know what I mean. It could be, somebody that you thought was a friend and it wasn't. It could be, and and let's face it, you can always just go. It's none of your fucking business. What's the next question? You don't have to answer.
no. I don't want to do that. But I like Lex. I like Lex Texas last comment. I was afraid of you at first. When I first met you, I was afraid of you. I was. I remember going to JV and saying, I don't know about this captain guy. And he's like, oh, no. That's just his humor. I'm like, I don't know. He's scary. And then
I
we
don't
got
know.
to know each other. And
It's all
that
bluffing.
was kind of a surprise because you were talking about something about a claw hammer or something. And I was just like, what? And it scared the hell out of me. But then that was a huge surprise to me. And then you and I became, friends and really good friends. And I learned that that was just your sense of humor and that you aren't scary.
No, absolutely not.
You're actually
A big softy on the inside with a crunchy exterior. Not crunchy,
Absolutely.
but
Yeah, but they've always said that. I'm just not fake about it. That's why
yeah.
I pulled somebody's about this. Oh, I love you, man, and I love you so much, sister, and I love you. And
Oh
fuck
yeah.
off. Somebody you've met twice on the internet. You know what I mean? That's it's, I'm just honest about stuff. If I don't like somebody, they're gonna know I don't like them. I'm either going to abuse them or I'm not. Not abuse because they only really take the piss out of people I like. You know, I just tend to ignore people that I don't like or just don't spend time around them. That's all.
And honestly, I mean, I will name people. You, BC Herbs, Samantha Lee, JV, Sparkle, um, some other people in the art community, Janice, Nathan, surprised me because you all are my tight group of friends. And what surprised me was you all didn't give up on me when I was being an asshole all year. So that was a pleasant surprise. When other people had given up on me, you guys didn't.
Well, that's it. That's good. I'm glad you think that.
I do. You guys are my family, really. I mean, I know that we're just in these little boxes and we're halfway across the world and everything, but you know, you, BC, Samantha, Sparkle, everybody. I mean, there's so many. I please don't. If I didn't name you, it doesn't mean that you're not. I'm just. These
Yeah,
are the
Joey.
names that
Joey
come to
said meant
mind.
you. So Joey.
And well, yeah. Okay, I'm gonna say Joey. Just
No, it's too late now, Joey. Just in case you're listening to this when you're out with the kids, what Angie was saying was you could go and fuck yourself, which I thought was a bit hard.
no, but you know what? Joey's in there too because he was influential in getting the Cleveland meetup together, and I got to meet 15, people from here, and it was like we already knew each other because we knew each other on here. And then it's just like, oh God, the old gang is together. But it was the first time we met, and just to be able to do that, Carla and Connie and Lep and Joey and Jules, and just it was incredible. It was life-changing for me because that was the pinnacle point when I decided I'm going to be on my own and I don't need anyone else. And I decided to take out the trash when I got home.
Okay. Yeah, so that's good, Joe, because Joey is good at that sort of thing, and he also pushed you towards divorce. So yeah, fair play, Joey. Well done.
That's not true. That's how rumors get started. My
God. Joey organized a trip, and it was on the trip you decided you did need the husband. So yeah, Joey, you're named in the divorce papers, so. Yeah, Carla's very proud of you. Carla, I've marked your question. I'll ask a question at the end. So.
Okay, sorry.
No, you work away. I'm just what I'm doing. If anybody asks a question in chat, I'm just starring it so as I can ask at the end. That's all. So.
Oh yeah. Oh,
I don't want people, if they put a question thinking I'm ignoring them, I'm just not asking them in the middle of it as well. So. So question 30 then. With the flip side of this one, so what is the worst? What has been the worst experience of your life? And again, remember, you're under no obligation to answer. Fuck what, like me asking you a question. You can just go. You don't have, just because you're here, you don't have to answer this. You don't have to give. You know what I mean? You're under no obligation. You're under no pressure. If you want the answer, that's fine, but you don't have to give anything out. If it's too personal, you don't have to do it.
Me too, Sparkle. I love you.
Yeah, pretty much, Lex.
Can't argue with you there, Lex. Yeah.
No.
I mean, definitely the death of my father. I was 13. And I became an adult immediately when he was dead. So there was no more childhood. And I had a stepmother who was taking my money and slipping Valiums into my milk and stuff, so that she could keep me living there for a year after he died, so that she could collect my money. And during that whole time, I was also, I guess it was 2 weeks after Dad died, I was molested by her son-in-law. And she told me, we can't tell your family, which is my real family. You know, not that step families aren't real, but I mean, my blood family. And she said, we can't tell anyone in this family. She said, I will take care of it. And, but the worst part about it was when she said, you know, you're getting to that age, you know, you enjoyed it. And, yeah, that really.
Yeah, she sounds like a charmer.
Yeah. That was, I'm going to say, and I've been through like spinal taps and surgeries, and that was the worst for somebody to say that.
See, that definitely sounds like somebody you want to kill with no consequences.
Yeah, I almost ran her over in a parking lot. My sister stopped me. She's like, "You are not going to jail for your life."
No point. No points. In all seriousness, there's no point in letting somebody like that ruin your life twice.
Right. Absolutely.
You know what I mean? You're up and away, you know, from it, and you know, I mean, I don't know how somebody gets over stuff like that. So I'm not going to diminish that, you know, but just.
I don't think you ever do. You know, it's like no matter what it is, whatever trauma you go through in your life, it makes a hole in your soul, you know, in your heart.
Yeah.
And it may not be a big hole, but it's still a hole in your heart. And so many people try just desperately to fill the hole, to spackle the hole, fix it, take it away. But you can't. You have to learn to live with the hole. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's how you get over it, is by accepting it and moving forward in your life as best you can and taking it for what it is. And don't try to erase it. Don't try to fill it up with something else. Don't try to fill it up with food. Don't try to fill it up with alcohol. Don't try to fill it up with drugs.
I think that's why a lot of people do end up on drink and drugs and overeat and all the rest of it. So
yeah.
But I mean, at least you're out the other end of it. And I just want to point something out here. Just Jessica changed her name to Captain Paplin, and instantly she became more empathetic. You know, so
she is the real Captain Paplin.
Yeah. All of a sudden, she went from being a pain in the hole to being nice. You see, so
I love it. She changed her name to that. That's great.
It's just the name, you know. I love that she did it, not realizing she couldn't change it back right away.
Oh no!
It still made me laugh, you know. So, yeah, and yes, Jessica, I had to text Laz today to tell him about it. He was laughing, so, you know, so. Right, so this one's a bit cheerier, hopefully, or maybe it's not. I don't know. Have you loved enough in your life?
No, never.
Okay.
I won't love enough until I have loved my entire life, until I take my last breath.
Okay.
I mean, I'm all about.
Sure you're not a hippie?
I don't think so. But I do. I love love. I don't like conflict. I love people being kind to each other. I love being in love. There's so many different types of love. You know, I love Trudy and I care for her. I was gifted, I think, if there is a divine, if there is a God, I was gifted with the gift of love. Um, and so, yeah, no, I'm going to be loving until I take my last breath.
Okay. But lifestyle, what, how do you define love then?
Caring for someone, respect, trust, enjoying their company, being a true friend, telling someone maybe not something that they want to hear, but something that's going to enrich their lives. My favorite quote was from The Wizard of Oz when they went to the wizard and he was giving them their gifts that they wanted. Don't you laugh at me, don't you?
I'm not laughing, I'm smirking.
Okay, don't you smirk at me. But at the end, when they go to the wizard and he gives the scarecrow his brain, it was a diploma, and he gives, I don't know. But anyway, the Tin Man comes up, he wants his heart. And he gives him this heart, but it's a clock on a string. And he says, my sentimental friend, love is not measured by how much you love, but by how much you are loved by others. And that has always stuck with me since I saw that when I was really young. And I try my best to treat everybody with respect and care and kindness. And I take the time to get to know people, even if they're difficult, even if they have a reputation of, oh no, that person is. I go a little farther, I'll peel the onion back. I will give that person a chance to show who they truly are. And sometimes I get burned. A lot of times I get burned. But sometimes I meet forever friends, good people. Yeah.
I hope we're not defined by how much people love, how much you're loved. Because I'm fucked if that's how it's been measured, So um anyway,
Yeah, Sparkle, right. Love in mind, body, and spirit. And I'm not talking about sex. I'm talking about just real care and love for someone, for people, friends. And I do. And I'm one of the people that says I love you all the time before we end a stream. Love you. Love you. But that's because I didn't get a chance to say it to my father.
Yeah, I just,
and I'll never do that again. It's like always tell the people that you care about that you do. Don't wait, because you may not have a chance to say it again.
well, no, but see that I could agree with, but it says false, lovey dovey,
Oh, well, yeah. I mean, you have to back that up with actions. I mean, you can't just say, "Oh, I love you, man," and then turn around.
Somebody you speak to once every month on a YouTube panel is not somebody you really love. It just isn't. I don't care what people say. It's bullshit.
We have made close friendships with people that we hang out with.
No, I understand that. Yes, there's close friendships, but there's so much. There's far too much. There's an overuse of the word, and then the word gets overused so much that just devalues it. That's the thing.
That is true. That is true. And that I don't want people to think that I am one of those people, because I do. I always say, love you. Try to. Those who feel uncomfortable when I do it, I know to back off and only say it once in a while. Present company included.
Yep. Absolutely. I have to stop saying absolutely. Joey keeps laughing whenever I say it. He says, even if I type it on the text, he says he hears me saying, "Oh, absolutely."
I do too. Absolutely.
Absolutely. Okay. Question 15 then. You're talking about watching all the travel stuff earlier, so where would you most like to travel to and why?
I'm sorry. I just got hit with the sillies.
Okay.
Honestly, people are going to think, this
Oh,
is, but Carla, Cleveland again in May. Yeah. It's where my friends are. I want to go to Belfast because you're there. I've always wanted to visit Ireland, but now I have a reason because I want to meet my friend. I want to visit British Columbia because it's beautiful and I want to meet BC and Mrs. BC. I want to go to Alaska because it's beautiful and because I want to meet Samantha. I want to go to Arizona, not because it's hot, because I don't like to be hot, but to see Sparkle and Tom. I mean, it's always about the relationships, not the destination. You know what I mean?
yeah, I agree because I've started to talk about coming over to America year after next. So 2025 is the plan. If the stars align properly, obviously, but and I've said I'm not doing it unless I can meet as many people as possible.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not coming all that way and not meeting up. I've met Joey, but I'm not coming all the way and not meeting up with Joey again and you and Squirrel. 'Cause you are all close enough to think where even if I can't do a big meetup again, I can move around a wee bit and
Yeah.
and go in between people. So um, physically, there's places. I love history stuff, so I and it's not that far
Oh, I
away
do
from me. I,
too.
I want to go to France. I want to see Normandy. I want to see a lot of the
Mm,
battlefields in France and Belgium. From where there's a massive connection to Belgium and places like Thiepval and the Somme and stuff for Northern Ireland. It's we've got areas named in Northern Ireland after battle sites and all from World War One.
yeah.
The 36th
Yeah.
Ulster Division, I think it was the 30th Irish Division, were decimated at the Somme and the Battle of Thiepval and stuff. So I know there's guys go over every year or two on a coach and go and see those. I'd love to go and see the beaches at Normandy and things like that, but so
Yeah.
I like the history stuff. I did
I do
want to go to
too.
Egypt, except that a friend went to Egypt and he said he wouldn't. He said he hated it. He says you're just constantly being scammed. Everybody's trying to get their hand in your pocket, and even the army come over and push the beggars and all the way, and then they turn around and put their hand out. The one paid for pushing the beggars away, and he said it was just really uncomfortable. And then he had two young daughters, and he said he just felt really uncomfortable. So I'd
Oh,
love to go and see the Valley of the Kings and
yeah.
the great Pyramid of Giza and all that. But recently it's to go over to America again and this time visit people because obviously I've been before, but I just went to party. But and yes, I'll party when I'm over. But for me, I want to come and meet all the people you named and even Dorito.
And
And
Dorito, yeah. I mean, there are so many people.
that
I can't, I just named off the people who were very influential to helping me this year and being really good friends to me. And
yeah.
but
No, but
there are so many people in our community that I adore.
yeah. I mean, just the thing is, when I was younger, I wanted to go to Magaluf, I wanted to go to Amsterdam, I wanted to go and party, I wanted to get drunk, and I wanted to,
Yeah,
whatever.
when you're young, that's all that matters. It's like
Um,
party.
Now I want to sightsee. Now I want to see
Yeah,
stuff, and now I want to meet people that have, I
yeah,
want to meet people that have met here, not physically met, but become
right.
friends with, through this. So
I mean,
I
because
kind
really, when you're on here, you do get to know people without any physicality, without any physical touch, without, being in person, any weird vibes or energy or whatever. And that's why it was like when I met everybody in Cleveland, it was like we all knew each other. We just came up and gave each other a big hug, and it was amazing. It was really amazing. And I don't think it's coincidence that we've all met. I don't think that at all. I think the universe has connected us all in the community for a purpose, for a reason. And that is to be friends, to learn from people. But, a lot of people are like, oh, YouTube is just YouTube. It's not real life. It is real life. I'm a real person. You're a real person.
No, but I get what they're saying.
I do too. But I'm just like,
it comes down to the people, because a lot. There's people that are jumping about in panels, and they're just there. They're, and it's just sits around with people, around the people. Yeah, you've people doing that and all the rest of it. But then, if you make a connection with people, the way Laurie was good enough to tell you that your hairstyle made you look really old,
I love that. That's a true friend. That is a true friend. I don't think she said really old, unless you talk to Sparkle behind closed doors. I don't know, but
that's what she said to me. It was weird. I had, just, have you seen the state of her hair? I was like, no, what? It's nothing to do with me, Laurie. But somebody that you can reach out to if you're feeling down or you're not sure about something.
Yeah, and I'm so lucky. I'm so lucky to have people.
That helps. So but I understand why people say it isn't real, because ultimately,
because there are a lot of people who are on here who aren't real.
I know, but it's not even that. We were able to sit and laugh at you trying to take your couch apart, but we couldn't physically come around and help you do it.
No,
we're not real in that. We're not real in that sense, you know what I mean? It's not like, right, I'm moving next week, can somebody help me? Or
right,
can you take me to IKEA because I need to pick up a bookcase, and that sort of thing. It's
Sparkle's got question marks. Remember, honey, when I had my hair, it was purple and blue, and it was really dark, and you were like, honey, I just want to tell you something. I just want to tell you something. And I'm like, what? The darker colors kind of make you look a little older. Don't you remember that? I thought that was great, because that is a true friend. She wasn't going to let me walk out with, my dark hair and my bags under my eyes and my wrinkles and shit. She was like, girl, lighten it up on the top. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. And you know you've got people you can rely on, when you can ask a question and we'll go, don't do that. It's stupid.
Yeah.
But still support you.
Travel. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, but still would support you if you decide to do the stupid thing, So yes,
absolutely. Yeah, if I had decided to stay that, she would be 100%. But she had to tell me, the truth, and that's what I want. That's what you need in a true friend, Not somebody that's going to let you walk out of the bathroom with your skirt up in your underwear and half the people in work see your ass, That's not a friend. Tell me, girl, cover that up. You know what I mean?
Okay, so travel to meet your new friends. Then okay, yeah, fair play.
Yeah, but you know what? I'm very lucky because I live very close to a lot of history. Like I'm 20 minutes away from the Antietam battlefield, Gettysburg battlefield, and I go there sometimes. I'll drive there myself and just walk the battlefield and reflect, and you can feel the energy still there, and it's just in the learning and everything.
Yes, yeah, I love the historical stuff like that. I heard a thing today. There was a guy who said, it's Christmas, so all the game shows are all celebrities on raising money for charities, and one of the guys was trying to raise money for, it was a war memorial, and he told the story, and he said it was only like 6 months previous to the show. He was out walking his dog in his local park, and he was just talking to an out fella, and there was two stones basically in the park, and but the guy was cleaning around, they were putting flowers and stuff, and he asked him what he was doing, and he says, "Look, I was here in 1944. We were all playing in the park, and there was an American bomber trying to return to base with on only one engine, and it they were trying to land in the park, but there was so many kids they wouldn't land, and they deliberately flew over the park and so as not to kill the kids, and the plane crashed, and all 10 of the American servicemen died.
Oh my god.
So they didn't, they give the ultimate sacrifice to not kill kids in the middle of a war. And it was only recently because it was a guy called Dan Walker, and he didn't know anything about it. And the old fella said to him, "I was here," and he says that the 75th anniversary of that was coming up, and he says, "I'd love to have a memorial here. I'd love to have, and because he was on the TV and stuff, within 6 months on the day of the anniversary, he was able to set up. They got a memorial stone all put in. The US Air Force had a flyby. That's a lot of the old World War II stuff, and some of the family members of the servicemen that died in the plane were there standing beside him on the 75th anniversary. And I just thought that was a fantastic story, and because I love that sort of stuff, I love that sort of history. So I would want to go and see Gettysburg and all the rest of it.
Oh, absolutely. Well, if you come to the East Coast,
yes, absolutely,
I will be your travel guide because I've got DC around me. I've got all kinds of shit.
Oh, it's on my to-do list. So okay.
Yeah.
Right. So something more silly. What is your favorite conspiracy theory?
Oh man.
I'm not saying what's the one you believe. What's your favorite is all?
Gosh, there's so many. I just kind of chuckle at all of them. I don't believe them per se, but it's like I think they're funny and I think they're quirky, but I also think they're cool because it shows that people are thinking in different ways, not just being sheep, but kind of going out and thinking for themselves, and it may not be right, but they believe. God, I would say I guess the earth is flat thing. That kind of makes me laugh.
Ah, no, it's
And I'd say that one. I mean, I don't really get into them. I just have a few laughs over them, but that one, yeah, I'd say that one.
see I love them all.
Yeah, let me guess. You're in the cheesesteak capital of the world. Am I right, Ski Girly? I'm close to there too. See, Captain?
You come over here and visit me. You got a place to stay. You got somebody to drive you. I'll be your tour guide. See?
I love all it. I don't believe an awful lot of them. I don't believe that there was just Lee Harvey Oswald killed JFK. I think he was a patsy.
Yeah.
He may have been involved.
Yes.
But the one I heard,
another one.
Yeah.
Marilyn Monroe did not kill herself. My God, I think I might have a conspiracy theory of my own. I've always thought this is how she was killed.
Okay.
I shouldn't say. I don't care. I've always thought because Marilyn Monroe was found dead, overdosed by a cocktail of a bunch of drugs. There were none of these drug bottles or anything in her room. She had no needle marks.
People are gonna think I'm crazy.
No more than we did an hour and a half ago. So go ahead.
And it's a little it's kind of graphic, but what I think happened is because she was having an affair with the president, she knew too much pillow talk.
Okay.
And I think the powers that be came to her room, silenced her up, and
Oh,
okay, I'm gonna just say it, and gave her an enema of these drugs because there were no track marks, there were no, and she was found, face down on the bed, naked, and nobody knew how she got all these, concentrated drugs into her system. And that's what I think. I think they went in, you got to think of other ways to get the job done and not leave any tracks. And I think that
this is why I love the conspiracy theories. Like, I don't know millions about that, but I find it interesting. The flat Earth one there that the real Captain Babin's taught, that it's so stupid. And one of my favorite videos is the flat earthers that accidentally proved the curvature of the Earth. They spent a fortune setting the experiment up, and then ran like, "Oh, that's it." He actually goes, "Oh, that's interesting," and they proved it.
You just proved the opposite.
Yeah, I'll show them, and then they proved that the Earth was curved.
Stoney says the Earth is flat.
Yeah, no, I look. I did say last week he's a lunatic. That's why I want him up. So, the one that I heard recently, and I know this is stupid, but I just found it just made me chuckle and I found it interesting. And I'm going to butcher it slightly, but supposedly some people believe that powerful aliens seeded the Earth with us, right? So they put humans here, and they built into us a hardwire for us to crave gold. Okay, so people say that's why everybody always valued gold, even before it was useful for electronics and all the rest of it. There was a practical use for it. People just valued it because it was pretty. And they built that in so as we have it, and then they can come down. And this is where I can't remember, because I only heard it and I went, what the fuck did he just say?
I bet I know where that came from.
Yeah, so no, it wasn't Raven.
No, I didn't mean a specific person. But a lot of people say that the pyramids over in Egypt were created by the aliens, because there's no possible way that even 100 human beings could have precisely made these pyramids.
Yeah.
And there was a lot of gold and a lot of, with the sarcophaguses or whatever you call them.
Study, you can prove it's a sphere, and they have proved it's a sphere. So, but no, that's a weird one. I just love the conspiracy theory thing. I just there's loads of them, and I'm not.
Yeah,
it's
interesting though to hear other people's point of views.
The thing is, I suppose you could call it a conspiracy theory. So I don't believe aliens have been here. So I don't think aliens set up the pyramids and stuff. That's people that have watched too much Stargate, and which is a film and a series that I don't think aliens have come, and I don't think they've built pyramids and then fucked off all the rest of it. But there's a guy called Graham Hancock that's pushed back the dates of what didn't happen, and there's all sorts of stuff that we cannot now with all our modern technology replicate, so and so he thinks that there was a previous advanced civilization before the Egyptians and all the rest of it. He says the Egyptians, that we know them, didn't build the pyramids and the Sphinx and all that. They inherited them and then just sort of went, these are ours, we'll claim these. So there's things like Göbekli Tepe, which they found in Turkey, which it looks like massive caves that can hold 20-odd thousand people, and with provisions and food, water, and all that sort of thing,
Right.
which could predate. There's a thing called the Younger Dryas that has potentially wiped out the vast majority of mankind. That's
Yeah.
not a conspiracy theory. That's just a theory on what happened with the ancient
Right.
civilizations and all. There's all sorts of stuff. It's fantastic. So interesting. But anyway, right. Question 17. Have you always made friends easily? And is it getting harder as you get older?
I've always made friends easily.
As I get older,
yeah, I think it is. I think it is harder when you get older. Because when you're a kid, it's it was easy for me. I'd just go up and act weird, and they'd be like, "Oh, she's funny," and then we'd be friends. So,
Stoney, I'm not going to prove it to you because I don't care. But watch some of the flat earthers that accidentally proved it. They put on big expensive experiments to prove that the Earth was flat and accidentally proved that it's curved. So there's loads of stuff out there, not NASA, not all the rest of it. So anyway.
Yeah.
But I mean, when you get older,
there are more, your insecurities are higher. You have other feelings involved when you're older and more mature, as far as chemistry with, like
I've always had more
males as friends and a few really good female friends. The majority of the females were not, I won't say they were mean or whatever, because I didn't give a fuck,
I'd say it if you want. Women tend to be bitchier, which is why a lot of
there
women
was a lot of jealousy.
Do prefer male friends.
Yeah. Jealousy about what, the extracurricular activities I was in, jealousy of the guys that I was friends with. And it's like, I'm just friends with these people, and just that kind of thing. There was a lot of that. So that was hard, because I'm the most authentic person. I mean, I don't pretend to be anything that I'm not. This is just me. And you either love me or you hate me. And if you hate me, I probably hate you too. So that's all right. It works out in the end, I don't waste my energy on that.
Yeah. I think there can be some middle ground there between love and hate.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I think so. But I don't know. That's kind of the way it's been for me.
I mean, you don't
But
seem
I
to
mean,
be...
I still consider some, I don't know what you want to call them, people that don't care for me or whatever. I still would consider them friends. I still keep them in my heart. I still keep them, in my good thoughts.
No, I wouldn't. Anybody that harbors any sort of negative thoughts about me, and I don't mean just I wish he'd do this a bit quieter, I wish he'd be a bit better at that. That's different. But if somebody doesn't like me, they can fuck off and die. I'm not going to waste any emotions on them. I'm not going to. There's no way I'm going to consider somebody a friend that that doesn't like me, because why would I? So I think that's emotions you're wasting on people that you shouldn't be wasting. I have a very limited emotional capacity, and I'm not going to waste it on cunts that Let's face it. I'll name him, but Colin used to be all nice to me when I was on panel, then run around badmouthing me behind my back.
Mm-hmm.
know.
Oh,
So
I've got a list of those for you. But I'm going to keep that zipped up. Because that doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
what
And
did you
I
say?
always think
I,
it like
mi-
this.
no, I missed what you said. I'm not going to push you on the answer, but I missed what you said. I was reading the comment. You've got a whole lot of what for me?
What?
No, what did you just say? I missed. I missed. I was trying to read the comments. You know.
What did I say?
Can somebody remind me in the
It's okay.
chat?
Um,
No?
but I mean, I have been told that I'm annoying because as I get more excited, I get louder and my voice gets higher. And
But we've told you that.
oh yes, oh yes, and I am annoying, but that's something I can't help. When joy comes out of me, I've been called before a wrecking ball of joy. And that's true. I mean, when I'm feeling good, I want everybody to feel good, and I have to learn to temper that, because some people aren't in the mood to, and but also people have to remember too that even a wrecking ball of joy, I mean, if you cross it, it can do a lot of damage. I'll just put it that way. So
Okay. Okay. Question 18 then. Say that you're on this musical journey then. What would your 3 desert island discs be?
Hmm. Oh man, this is hard. Queen's greatest hits, of course. Can
No,
it
you
be?
can't. No,
I
you
don't
can't.
know.
You
I
can't.
don't know
Can't have
specific
greatest hits.
albums.
No.
Yeah, I'm not sure of specific albums, but
So a Queen out. So Queen
so
Night at the Opera. So
a
that's the one
Queen.
with
Yes.
Love of My Life on it, and
Yes.
Bohemian Rhapsody and stuff.
Yes, that one. And
Welcome back, Daniel.
hey, Daniel.
It's another greatest hits, but James Taylor.
No, you can't
Okay,
James Taylor's. Oh, it's an actual disc though. It's got all of his good ones on it. I don't know what the actual album is.
You want to
I
move
like
on
James
then?
Taylor, and it.
Backstreet
Queen.
Boys greatest hits.
No.
Hey, listen. You know what? Full disclosure. I rocked it to the boy bands. All right, I was out on the dance floor all the time. So
My cup of tea, but
no.
not
But
so
do
good.
they make you move? Do they get you to get up and move? Yeah,
No.
they do.
You the way to maybe not me,
And if I could get a disc made of my father when he was singing in a barbershop quartet called The Uncalled For, I would love to have that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, fair play. It's cheating, but yeah, fair play. Yeah. Question 19, and we're nearly there. What have you learned about people recently that you didn't know?
That everybody's human. There's good folks and there's folks that are more difficult. But sometimes you kind of have to see past that point and consider that they're going through things in their lives that we may not even know about. and you have to give that. You always have to have that in the back of your mind. When somebody's an asshole to you, it's like, well, they must be going through something. I mean, that's the first thing I think. And but the biggest thing I think, and I'm not kissing your ass because I'm up here on your panel right now, but I have learned about good friends that you've had on this show that I thought I knew everything about. I really did.
Okay.
And every interview that you've done, there's been something that I learned new about a dear friend. That's like, oh my God, I had no idea. And it just makes you that much closer, and you feel you know, and you have more respect, and you know.
Yeah, that's why I think I like this and I've enjoyed this because I'm not asking too probing a question, you know, and some of them can be deep and some of them have turned into really deep answers, but that's just, you know, if somebody's comfortable enough to do it, and you're right, some of them have been you know, everybody's opened up about something much more than I initially, because I mean I only did this because JV stopped doing Friday nights. I just wanted to do something, and then just thought, you know, actually one day when BC was torturing you with random questions on one of your lives,
Yes.
and I started to think, you know, I like that, you know, but just
Yeah.
you know, some of them are, you know, some stupid questions. I mean, because one of the questions I asked Joey the first time was, how high could you jump, for God's sake? You know what I mean? And I'm not trying to ask, you know, tell us about when your dad was, you know, kidnapping aliens. I'm not, you know,
yeah. You're not doing it to exploit people. You're doing it for people to get to know these people even more. If you think you know everything about someone, you
I'm
really
just
don't.
having a chat around. You know, some of them music questions, some of them YouTube questions, and you know, and everything's sort of, you know, there's questions on every one that I try and tailor to ask JV about, you know, music and the Chiefs, because the Chiefs fan asked Joey about the Browns and about Cleveland, and you know, asked you about art, but it was kind of struggling to think of art questions to ask you, to be honest, you know. So, and I've even started I've started writing down new questions. You know, I'm actually sitting for an hour when I'm listening to Joey writing down questions. I'm not going to read any of them out because I don't want to give any, you know.
Well, I was,
you're not going to get them now, but they'll be.
I messaged you and I said, "Hey, I just want you to know I have never studied art. I don't know a lot of, artists back in the romantic period or whatever. I don't know anything about that. I just do what I feel." And
new questions, you know, and I'm
very
just,
nice.
Just to change it up, you know, and it's
nice sitting here with you because you make it, you make us comfortable. I was scared shitless. I thought I was going to throw up before we started.
The only one but I suppose not everybody was nervous. There's been a few I didn't expect. JV was weird because JV's so much in my mind, Mr. YouTube, you know, because it was every Friday was JV's.
Yeah,
he found it weird sitting one. Joey just come on and, you know, Joey could do this in his sleep, you know. BC doesn't give a fuck, so it didn't worry him. But you know, JV was a bit nervous. You were nervous. Sam was a bit nervous, you know. And it's, you know, it's grand.
Well, once we got into it, you made me, and I know everybody else, very comfortable, and it's nice because it's like you don't get to talk about yourself. Well, some people talk about themselves all the time, but you shouldn't. I don't know how I'm trying to say this, but it's nice, somebody actually cares about your life and what you've done and what you feel. And because so many people go through life, they don't ask their friends, you don't really get to know people. And in this way, we can all get to know everybody that you have up here. And it's just a little bit better. And I think it's really cool. It's the best new stream on YouTube. There, I said it.
I wouldn't go that far. So, Jessica, I can't do them in the middle. If somebody could put Jessica's link in the chat, so as anybody can subscribe to her. She's on Laz's channel all the time, and she started coming around here. So so I know she's changed her name just to mock me, and she's been calling me an Irish prick all night. But it's but she's good, So if somebody could do that, I know Joey, we didn't ask Angie about her tit shit, So that's later. So
yeah,
you
stay for the 3-hour mark, then we'll get to that.
So the last of the proper questions then. What one thing from your childhood do you regret your children not having or doing?
I would say, not my children, but
children in general.
Yeah, yes. Sorry.
I think no, that's fine. I think imagination and that sense of adventure, going out, jumping on your bike and just having an adventure every day, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So many kids now, so many adults have their faces in their
phones and computers and all that. But kids, I just think it's so important because that's such an important age. That's when your brain is developing. That's when you learn social skills and you make friends and you see people and you really know them because you're face to face with them, and so many kids, they just don't have that. They don't have that, like playing sandlot baseball or kickball but just being outside, being in nature. And it's just that I think that's lost and it's sad. Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. I think and it seems to be a fairly consistent answer. Because I think all of us, I do worry that we're all just getting old and grumble about things were better when we were kids and all, but
yeah.
But everybody has said the same thing, so we can't all just be grumpy old fuckers like me.
Yeah, I mean, there was something just wonderfully joyful about that,
Yeah, people, kids can't go out now and do what we used to do.
No, and I'll tell you, I gotta say this. I wish kids nowadays had the parents the type of parents like we had back in the day. I don't know how I'm going to say this without offending anybody, but for funsies, okay, I went on Omegle, which is a Yiki site, but I went on there as Kermit the Frog. I put my Kermit the Frog right up at the thing, so they didn't even see me. They just saw Kermit. And of course, they thought that I was like, the million subscriber Kermit that's always on there showing his cucumber. Yeah. And that wasn't me. So I was on there. I would sing them like, Rainbow Connection or something. But anyway, the point I'm trying to make is when I would go on there trolling as Kermit for laughs, the first thing that I would see is penises, which is so wrong. I mean, you don't even see a face. They don't even say hi. It's just right there. And it's just like, what? And of course, my Kermit, being funny like me, was like, you call that a penis? I mean, it's like, it was fun. And it was a good time. But the shocking thing that made me sick was the second thing that I most saw on Omegle was kids.
Yeah.
Like elementary, middle school kids. And Kermit would tell them, I'd sing them Rainbow Connection or whatever. And then I would tell them, on a serious note, you guys shouldn't be on this channel. Please be safe. there are a lot of bad people out there, and you need to tell your parents what you're doing. And I would say it to every kid that would come up, and there were many. So what turned into being, trolling as Kermit on Omegle,
which was fun.
Yeah.
It was also, I just felt compelled. I had to, every kid that popped up, I'm like, what are you doing? You should be playing Mario Kart. You should not be on Omegle. And Kermit would be like, where are your parents? But you know what? The kids of today are really smart.
I don't think so.
Oh,
I strongly disagree. Kids are morons. Kids shouldn't be allowed out of the house till they're fucking 27. They're fuckwits.
Yeah.
That is true too. I mean, they're
on different levels. But what I mean is these kids knew. Some of them would actually say, when Kermit would pop up, they'd say, "Are you a pedophile?" And I would be like, "What? What? No, I'm Kermit the Frog. What are you talking about?" But that's what they're used to. And they know like what to look for, and which is good because, there's so many predators out there, but I'm just glad that the site got shut down. I really am. I mean, it really became a concern of mine. Something that started out me just being funny, making fun of people's men's, as Kermit the Frog, turned into something that was just shocking. And I'm like, I got to go on there as Kermit the Frog and tell these kids to get the hell off of here. And
it's not something I ever was on. I saw YouTube videos about it, but just didn't,
Yeah. I mean, it so shocked me. It was like I got to peer in the curtain of, the debauchery, sites out there or whatever.
Yeah.
It's not pretty. It's just not.
Yeah, it's a weird one, because I saw that Kermit the Frog thing, I think it was Blake maybe brought it.
Yeah, that's the guy.
Yeah.
Full disclosure, I'd tell them that I was the guy.
Yeah, so it was, and it was funny and all, but I never. And I've seen more wholesome stuff. Guys just they'll do magic tricks, or they'll play a song, or they'll mind read, or whatever.
Yeah, I've seen playing piano, playing guitar. Yeah. So there are some good on there, but man.
Yeah, it was like most things on the internet. For every one good thing, there's a million shitty things. So
right. Ski girly.
I'm Chris Hansen from NBC Dateline. Would you come and have a seat, please?
Okay. I don't know what that name is, so I'll have to take your word for that one. So
he was a guy that worked on NBC Dateline, and he was known for To Catch a Predator, and it was big in the 90s, I think.
Okay.
And it was right when they were starting the whole cyber security. I mean, obviously they started it way before that, but it's when it became out mainstream about cybersecurity and all that.
Yeah.
And he would, along with the police, he would catch these predators who say, "Oh, I'm a 13-year-old girl who likes Hello Kitty and snow cones." And then, the person that they're talking to that they think is a kid is actually an adult who is a police officer, and they get them to agree to come over, and they're like a 40-year-old man. And so Chris Hansen is the one who opens the door, and he says, "Hi, I'm Chris Hansen from NBC Dateline. Why don't you come on in and have a seat?" That's when you know you're in trouble. When Chris Hansen says, "Come on in and have a seat," you're in trouble. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
It does seem a bit suspect, that one.
But he caught so many cyber predators from that show. So I mean, he really was doing a good thing with
some people would say, "Oh, you're exploiting it and making money off of it," but bottom line is, he was saving kids from predators. So, kudos to him.
Okay, so the plus one then that we always finish with: what's the single best piece of advice you can share with the world?
Oh no.
Always think through and really know what your intentions are when you do something. Always think of, what is the outcome of this going to be? Is it going to be positive? Is it going to make things worse? Hi, BC. No, I'm not doing the wiggle yet. I don't have to pee yet. Yeah, I would say, and I learned that from BC. Full disclosure. Always think of the end result.
Okay. Yeah, that's good advice. Can't fault that. So,
it's not my advice. I learned it from BC, but I'm going to share it with everyone. My advice would be like, I don't know.
Don't have white hair when you hit a certain age.
Yeah, don't go blonde when you're 54 or almost 55 because it's not pretty.
Oh, okay then. So the last thing before we get on to the viewers' questions, is there one thing you would like to ask me?
The tables have turned.
Remember, I don't have to answer it, so.
No, that's not fair. Come on.
No, I gave you the option for every question you didn't have to answer, didn't I?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Blake, I think Carla. Blake normally doesn't.
Have you loved enough in your lifetime?
I think so. But I'm not convinced love's real, so
maybe you just haven't found it yet.
I've loved the people I've loved, and I think that's enough. I don't, I'm not running about chasing it. I love the people.
It's not about chasing it, but you also can't.
You also can't give up and say, "Oh, it's not out there for me."
You just haven't met. You just haven't met the right.
No, but I'm not. I don't even mean just love.
Yeah.
Like love a woman or whatever.
Right.
But
no, but love everybody. You could meet new friends that you could love. You could.
I don't love an awful lot of people. I just don't. I think it's bullshit. I love the people I love. I like the people I like, and I respect the people I respect. But they're not. Just because I like and respect a person doesn't mean I love them.
Yeah.
I'm a very, very, very small group of people that I would say that I love, and that's no disrespect to other people.
Yeah.
But, it is what it is. I love the people I love, and that's good enough for me at this stage. So yeah, and I suppose the obvious answer is what's enough. So
right.
Right. So we're going to go to, if anybody's any questions at this stage, I have a few marked. If anybody's got any late questions for Angie, stick them in the chat, and I'll ask them if I can. And Joey, no teddy questions, okay? But Joey does have a first one. So, what does Angie think about the unilateral trade agreements with nations of less than means? I like that question.
Obviously, it's not fair trade if one it does not have good means. I mean, that's a no-brainer.
Vibrating panties. Yes. Actually,
Okay.
that's
That's one of your suggestions, Joey, that I actually considered.
So Carla then. So I have a question. Does it mean you're a hippie if you believe in ghosts and spirits? So
I don't think no, it doesn't make you a hippie. But hippies are very open-minded and go with the flow and will consider everything, not be closed-minded and I think that's kind of, like tree huggers, hippies. Oh yeah, they're, but I think that should be separated. I mean, because I know a lot of people who aren't hippies who have, I mean, look at the Taps guys, I mean, they're not
taps.
hippies. They're not
What?
they're not hippies at all.
What? Okay. Who or what are the taps guys?
The Atlantic Paranormal Society, and they had a show called Ghost Hunters on the Sci-Fi Channel and Travel Channel, I think. And they were out of Rhode Island, and they traveled all over the world and investigated places that were supposedly or allegedly haunted. And
So
some
they're not.
things I debunked, and some things were like, "Whoa, what was whoa," But yeah, so that's who they are.
So they're
Jay
not.
and
They're not
Steve
hippies.
and
They're
Tango. I know the whole crew. I actually went to a paranormal. I went to a paranormal. I don't know what you would call it, like a convention thing, and I met one of the girls that was on the Tap show, like a long time ago. So
Yeah. No. It's all bullshit. So okay. Next question then. One from Laz. He's probably in bed at this point, if there's any sense. So, if you could be a fantasy creature, what would it be? I like that question.
I like that too.
Sort of, I did originally start asking people about spirit animals, but you know,
Wow. Hmm. I think I would be I think I would be like a Tinkerbell fairy and float around and I would,
yeah,
take my magic dust, my happy dust on all the angry people and try to make people happy.
okay, yeah, fair play. So I just say he was in at the start for a wee while. He's probably away to bed at this stage, So, yeah, he was here. So, okay. Let me see. No, a proper one from Carlos time. What was the best decision you've made this year?
Separating from my husband and filing for divorce.
Okay. That's your answer? You're not going to elaborate on anything else, just the divorce? Which is fine.
No, I mean, I guess. Yeah, I'll elaborate.
So just before you do,
Mhm.
Blake, if you're planning to go live, but you've got families, I mean, you're not going live, or you're just not sure when. Because if you want to schedule it and put the link in the chat for everybody, feel free. Sorry, Angie, just wanted to. Right, sorry,
Or I can,
elaborate.
if Blake has family and can't do it, I can always go live. It doesn't.
I'll be honest. I'm going to be going to bed shortly. Maybe it's 2:30 for fuck's sake. So, just
Um, Yeah, best decision I made. All my life, I've always had to have somebody. I always had to have somebody telling me that I'm doing the right thing or I'm not doing the right thing or whatever.
Why?
And
Why not be confident? Why not be that strong, independent woman that you keep fucking hearing about on TV? Why do you need somebody to reinforce the decision that you make?
Well, I don't
And
anymore.
I'm not. That's not. I don't mean that to. I know that
No, I
come out
know.
as sarcastic and stuff. It just
Mhm.
genuinely, you know, why not just make a decision and go with it? So why do you need that reinforcement at this stage? Just, you know,
I think that was the breaking point. I don't need it anymore.
okay.
I put up with a lot of shit because I was due to medical reasons. I was on fentanyl patches for 13 years, and there was a lot of mental abuse and gaslighting and all kinds of things that I thought I had like pushed down far enough that it didn't bother me anymore. And well, I was so high, I just accepted any treatment that I got, you know. And then I realized I have to get off the fentanyl or it's going to kill me. And I weaned off of it 2 years ago, and everything like the blinders came off, and it's like I got my sight again, and my memories and all that stuff that I'd pushed down was coming back up. And it's like, that wasn't okay. You know, the things, the body shaming and the mental abuse and the manipulation, just everything was not okay. I did not deserve that treatment. And whether or not it was years ago and we've moved on or not, I deserve to be treated better. And I needed to love myself.
Yeah.
I kept loving other people, but I never loved myself. And now I'm starting to. And so that
That's
was
good.
the best decision.
Okay. No, well, that's good. I mean, no doubt about that. Yeah. Well, I mean, you made it. It's a big decision. You've done it, so um, there has to be a positive outcome to it, you know. So, and it proves that
Yeah.
so
It's
far, so good.
scary.
You've made the right decision, you know.
It's terribly scary, you know,
But
being
you've
married
got to
for
get to the
22
point.
years and then all of a sudden out on your own again. But
But
I truly feel that this new year is just a new chapter for me. And it's going to be, I'm going to be doing things that I've never done before. And
But I think you've got to get to the point. You need to be more confident in yourself. I mean, the way I look at it, I'll ask people's advice. I'll talk to you and Sam and BC and JV. Should I do this? Should I do that? I'll ask for technical advice and something, but ultimately I'll make the decision. You know, and I'll live or die by the decision. Some days I'll just go, fuck it, I'm doing this, or fuck it, I'm not doing this. But you know, there's a difference between asking people's advice. What do you think?
yeah,
Oh, is this a good idea? Should I do this? Should I do that? That's different. But you have to get to the point. I think from your point of view, you have to get there sooner rather than later. I think you need to be more confident in yourself to go, well, okay, well, I've asked Trevor, you know, I've asked Sam, I've asked BC, I've asked, but I disagree. I think I could do this. I think I should do this, and then just do it, you know.
yeah.
And that
Right.
comes
And
from
I did that. I did that
self-confidence.
recently
Yeah.
because one huge thing is being on one salary now.
Ah,
And
absolutely.
making it on my own. And that's another reason why I'm taking my art channel and my reaction channel more seriously. This is my job. And I know people say, that's not your job. No, it is. And if doing reactions, and I've gotten flack from some people who were supposedly friends. I've heard them on other lives, you know, putting down reactors and stuff.
right after I started, and it's like, listen, you know, I said in the beginning of my reactions, I'm not a teacher, and I don't pretend to be. I'm not a voice coach. I did not study. I don't have a doctorate in music, but I've had music in my life since I was a child, and I've done, I've performed, I've created, I've music directed, I've, done all of that. So, and I'm not telling people how to think. I'm just telling them what I think, and maybe giving them a different way to look at things and to feel. I mean, honestly, I want to show people that don't just listen to music, feel it. Yeah. Use all of your senses, obviously, except smell, or taste, but really experience the music. It's so much more wonderful when you do that, when you just open yourself up and just really take it in. And yeah, I don't know where I was going with that, but no. So so I was getting, saying that we're reactors are just they're making money off of other people's work or what and things like that. And it's like, listen, if me listening to music, giving a shout out to an artist and giving them free advertising on YouTube, which is legal, and I don't have to show my tits on OnlyFans, and it pays my mortgage and puts food on my table, I'm going to do it.
Yeah, so. Absolutely. But we've talked about this, so I've told you how many times you've got to not be ashamed of asking for super chats and all the rest of it. It's a business.
It's so hard for me to do, but I mean, I'm trying.
But you have to get over it, and you're making all the right noises tonight about it. So you have to just get over it and go. You saw Joey tonight. Joey's going to get stoned one way or the other, but he's asking people to pay him to get stoned, and it works.
It does.
So you have to do it. It's a business, So
yeah.
So there you go.
YouTube pays my mortgage, so it can be done. Just another, absolutely. And I take this seriously as a job. Now, my Just Being Angie channel, that's my shenanigans channel. Yes. That's where I can just let my hair down, just say whatever.
But even your art, you need to start going, support the channel. It's what everybody else does, So anyway, okay. So, Bobby Joe, yes, I'd be more than happy to Hobo on here if he wants to do it. Just let me know. I've added him to. That's it, Hobo. You've made the list. I've added him to the list. So I'd love to have him on if he'll do it. Just let me know and we'll schedule some Friday night. So Miss Piggy wants to know: do you date veterans?
Angie, do you date veterans? Well, Miss Piggy, my God, it has been 25 years since I've been on a date. So, yes, I would date a veteran. Absolutely. Yeah. At this point, no, but anybody. No, I'm just kidding. I kid. I'm just kidding. But just making a little jokey there. Oh, you got another request, Chris?
No, Chris, sorry. I genuinely, you were on in my head, you were on my list, but I haven't written you down. Because I did ask you before and you said yes, so I you're on there because I think I'll be a good one as well, So so yes, Chris, you're definitely on there. So we'll definitely do that. So okay. Let me see. So Sparkle wants to know if you were to paint one masterpiece in your life, what would it look like and feel like?
Mm-hmm. My family portrait. I mean, when I was a kid, my mom, my dad, before they got divorced, and
My brother and sister and I.
But that's not Michelangelo's David. That's not the Sistine Chapel.
No.
That's not, the Sunflowers. That's not Constable's, works. It's not, so.
So something like, okay.
Yeah, so I think, I don't want to put words in Laurie's mouth, but it does seem like you're skating around the answer there.
Skating around the answer.
Well, and to be honest, it's probably one of the best questions of the night, so.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? From one artist to another, and it's a very art question, Do I think it's a cop-out? If you want to leave it at that, that's fine. If Laurie's happy with that, that's fine. And she seems to be. But it seems like a cop-out of an answer.
Honestly, I would do a huge mural that could be like on the side of a building in New York City or somewhere that's, would be seen a lot. And it would have everything that is good in the world. Animals, nature,
right.
People smiling and laughing. And
just a twist on it then.
Mm-hmm.
Just to sort of piggyback on Laurie's question. If you could have picked or created one of the masterpieces, which one would you have picked? So if you were, I would have loved to have done the Sistine Chapel. I would have loved to have done Da Vinci's, the Genesis of Man or whatever it's called,
Mm-hmm.
Omega Man, whatever it is, So if you could have created one of the masterpieces, what would it be?
Oh man.
So I suppose which of the masterpieces would be your favorite? Where you'd go, I'd love to have created that.
I love Starry Night. I love Starry Night. Yeah.
And
the Great Wave picture, and I can't remember the Asian artist's name who made it, but you think it's just a wave, but when you get up close to it and look at it, you see the boats and the actual rowers in the boats, and I can't what's it called?
Miss Peggy, I'll ask. Okay. I'll ask him.
I can't. I love that one too.
No, you can't pick two. Well, one.
Okay. Then Starry Night. I'm going to say Starry Night.
Fair play. So, right. Okay. So the last question from the real Captain Batman. We might as well end it properly. If your paintings could talk, what would they talk about you as an artist?
Wow.
That's a great question.
That's a great question.
See, it's the Captain Batman name. It's just it's imbued Jessica with empathy and intelligence just for one evening. So,
wow, that is a great question. Oh my god. That I'm grateful for the gift that I have, but sometimes I have trouble calling myself an artist because I feel like when I do my art, I get the feeling from the universe, from the divine, from whomever. Like before I do my art, I have no idea what I'm going to do. Unless it's a commission, obviously, and then I know what I'm going to be doing. But if I, for my lives or whatever, I never know going into it what technique I'm going to do or any of that. And I just sit and I feel it. And I know it sounds crazy and you're going to say I'm a hippie, but I truly feel that I'm not the artist.
You put words in my mouth.
because I know you so well. I don't feel like I'm the artist. I feel like I am the conduit. Like I am the vehicle that
Don't
is
admit that, Jessica.
like, you know what I mean? Like I'm getting the inspiration from the universe, and it's coming through me and going out onto the canvas. And I have trouble sometimes taking credit for the art that I create, because things will show up in the art that I did not purposely put in them. Angels, animals, birds, well, birds an animal, but faces. And it's not creepy, but it's kind of, I don't know. It's really wild, and it's something that comes from within.
Well, that's why the old, the Greeks and the Romans believed in muses.
Yeah.
Was Persephone, Calliope, all them characters that were there in the background going, do this,
Yeah.
Maybe that's.
I think that's what it would. Maybe just. Did that answer the question? Okay. I don't.
I think so.
Just kind of.
No, that's all right. That's all right. So I think we're going to wrap it up there. So because we're not far off 3 hours, aren't you?
Oh my heavens!
I know. So thank you a lot for doing that. I know you were nervous, but I really enjoyed it. I think it's been good crack. It's been interesting. It's been
Thank you for having me up here and for asking me. And for doing this show. It's brilliant. It really is. No. I'm not, and you are a YouTuber.
No.
Yes.
No. So thank you for doing it. Thank you everybody in the chat that was here and is here and asked questions and just sat and watched this nonsense, So thank you very much. Appreciate us all for being here. And somebody's going to go live after this. It was Blake, but it's not Blake now. I don't know how he's doing it. So, yeah, we'll see. So Nick, so from my point of view, I have next Friday I have Thrice. Okay. The week after that, I might do something different just for that one night for different reasons that I'll not mention here, but I might do something different that Friday. And we'll see. So, but
which Friday are you doing something different?
Friday the 12th. I'll talk to you all for about it. We'll see.
So, okay. Yeah.
So thank you everybody, and
thanks, everybody.
I really enjoyed it.
Thanks for you guys' questions and for being kind and everything.
And we're going to
end. And I'm going to say it. Love you all. Love and light.
I'll not end with any sort of hippie stuff. So.